Hi guys, this is Navin Kundra. Make sure you stay tuned to the Voice It Out podcast.
Hello everyone. Hi Amrita.
Hello, hi Shyama, hi guys.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm glad the sun's out, put it that way.
Finally.
Because we've talked so much about the rain, haven't we?
All hail the sun gods. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Shyama personally knows them.
I
No, I'm
do.
joking.
Thanks.
Kidding.
All right. I wish.
Okay.
So we've got a really exciting episode today.
As always, all of our episodes are exciting.
That's
and
true.
our guest is just going to have to accept that, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So
so
who have we got?
we have, I'm going to say the name first and then say all the amazing things that he's
Okay.
done. So we have the amazing Navin Kundra. Hi, Navin. Woo!
Hey, thank you for having me here. It's amazing to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for being here. It's
Yeah.
really nice to see you.
You too.
Now, I'm just going to tick off some of the things you've done in your career.
Okay.
So you're coming up to your 20th anniversary since your debut on your 19th birthday. I feel like I want to see a video of this because I
Yeah.
haven't seen one where you represented.
seen a video for
I
that?
haven't.
Wow. So I created this thing called the VIP fan experience,
Ah,
which is a private area on my website.
Right.
So like VIP fans, they pay a subscription, and we have monthly video calls
that's so cool.
together. Like, so we do a Zoom call with all the
That
fans.
is
We all get
so
together,
cool.
and there's private. So my home demos,
Oh my
unreleased music,
God.
and the
This video,
Sarigama
oh my God,
episode.
I might have to join the
might
VIP
The
fan
video of the
experience.
Sarigama episode is there. I didn't give it to any media, although it came out on ZTV.
Yeah, but it's for your fans, isn't
Yeah.
it? So
Yeah.
it's exclusive. And that's actually really nice.
So that's how you get
cool.
to see it.
Absolutely,
I'm sorry,
absolutely.
I interrupted you.
No
Already,
worries.
we just
It's
started
your
it.
episode. It's
We
your
already started and I
episode.
derailed the whole thing.
It's all good. I love it. So anyways, he's going to mark 20 years. Like, I mean, if you look at him, he doesn't even look 20.
Oh, come on.
Well, that's my personal opinion. Anyway,
doesn't.
so he's also had a number of singles. Now, I said this previously, I've said this, but Aja was one of my favourite songs of yours.
Wow.
But I know
Wow.
there's lots of popularity to Tere Liye.
I just got to say, I love
Yep.
that you really appreciate Aja, because I feel like out of all of my music, that's the one that I'm most, I'm really proud of that song. and
Really?
I loved
That's
making
so
it.
nice to
But I
hear.
also feel that it's the one that didn't really get, as much
It's underappreciated.
exposure. Yeah, it's kind of one of
Definitely.
those songs that,
That's so
it's
good,
really
yeah.
creatively satisfying, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason at radio or
Absolutely.
whatever it didn't.
I
get.
just feel like your voice is quite different in that song as well. So I think that's
I'm
what.
doing all the alaps and all the.
Maybe-
I just want
yeah.
to showcase that side.
Absolutely.
But the thing
yeah.
is, I
In
think
terms of-
it just adds to the variety of things that you've got.
Navin Kundra.
So,
I interrupted
So-
again.
I love that you're
Yeah,
interrupting
good,
your
you
introduction.
should.
This is
Well,
this is
voicing
so
it out,
good. There you go. Okay, so Tere Liye, obviously I've heard this song in so many weddings.
Yes.
Like it's so popular even now. There's Mehbooba, which it's memorable for me
Why is it memorable for you?
because I feel like my first interaction with you was around
Yeah.
that song.
Right.
It's memorable for me, for you, if you
Yeah.
see what I mean. Hamesha,
Oh,
Shudai,
wow,
I really love
Hamisha.
as well. Oh my God.
It's amazing that you mentioned Hamisha, because Hamisha is actually a cover of
Yeah.
an English song, Always and Forever.
Yeah, I remember.
And
did not
Heatwave.
know that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Heatwave, the original group that
Yeah.
made that song. I didn't actually know that song, but I was performing at one of Sony TV Sports Personality of the Year award nights.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went there, and Heatwave were performing on stage, and they're actually on our table. So I had no idea who these guys were. They're
Yeah.
legends in the music
Yeah.
industry. And so we were on the table, we got talking, we got on really well, and then they went upon and they performed. And when they performed the song Always and Forever, I fell in love with that song. I was like, this is so beautiful. Went back home that night, found it on YouTube, and I listened to it all night, and I was like, I wonder now that I know them sort
Yeah.
of, if I could get permission, maybe I could just do like a
Yeah.
version of it, but maybe rewrite it in Hindi, because I just felt that, I don't know, I always feel that songs in Hindi, like the depth and the beauty that you get in lyrics with Urdu and Hindi, are super special.
Absolutely. I feel the same.
It's so different to
that's how
English.
Hamisha was born, actually.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Such a good story. I'm loving the stories. I'm loving them.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
So you also were part of Doctors in a
Yes.
really massive Bollywood sequence,
Yeah.
which won a soap award, which was fantastic. you went to that soap awards, right? I remember
did, yeah.
seeing you on
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
And I was thinking,
Yeah.
I know him. You know, as you do.
God.
As an Indian, as you
Of
do.
course. Oh my God, look.
I know.
Up and up and down.
Precisely.
There you
I mean,
go.
come on, we all still do that.
Yes, of
we can't get
course.
away
Yeah,
from
we do,
this.
yeah.
We do. So you have obviously done really big things, but I think again one of the biggest things in your very illustrious career was performing when PM Narendra Modi came over, like tens of thousands of people, which I think is fantastic. Like just fantastic. You've done so much stuff. I've literally only mentioned some of the things. Obviously, you're part of some charitable organizations as ambassador as well.
Yeah.
There's so many hats that you wear.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw my first question at you.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite hat?
I think I don't actually distinguish between all those different roles, which is really strange because I just feel like it all kind of merges into one. It's just part of who I am as a person, and then the artist, you know, the music and the artistry, that's probably the hat that feels a little different because that's where I get to go into a creative space, and I know I'm creating something that others can't really, you know, others may not create. That's where I can really be an individual. But as I said, all the other stuff, that just comes with it. That's just a part of the whole thing. And I've always tried to keep it quite real.
Yeah.
So I remember, like many years ago, you know, my dad and my manager, like we had this conversation, like, should we have like a stage name? Because
okay.
Navin Kundra at the time, like before I became Navin Kundra, as everyone knows, it just felt like it's my name. It's my real name. It's quite, you know, and
Just as
so,
a
so
disclaimer,
like, well, you know,
guys,
you got
it's
some
his
artists,
real name.
some artists are like, you know, they're called Prince, or they're
Yeah.
called, you know, they have like alter,
Yeah, absolutely.
like,
Alter egos.
Yeah, alter
Yeah.
egos, like Cliff Richard, for example, or whatever. Like that's not their names, but they, and it's almost like you can switch into that character.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so because when I go on
yes.
stage, something else takes over.
Yeah.
When I'm performing live, when I'm in
wanted
the
to ask you about
studio,
this,
when I'm in the studio, it's a very different thing. But when that extra thing takes over, you kind of realize. I mean, I'll if I could explain it to you,
Of course.
the best
Yeah,
way I
go
can
for it.
explain it to you is, it is like when you walk out on stage, it's almost like you step into a different persona. Although it's an extension of myself, sometimes, you know, I feel like this guy Navin Kundra, he's going to show up. And,
Right.
and they say my name and I walk out on stage and I'm like, okay, you know, somehow you just step into that person. And there's other times when it doesn't happen.
Oh,
So I'm just like,
Okay.
I'm Navin, they've announced my name, I'm going to walk out, and I was like, okay,
Now
Navin
what?
Kundra hasn't shown
Oh
up.
my God,
I've
okay.
got to do this on my own now, you know. And then
Wow.
a song or two in, like it
get
happens. So that part is the only part that feels like it's a little different. But everything else that comes with it, then I'm just myself. Like we're sat here chatting.
Yeah.
We're sat here having a lovely conversation. It's so refreshing because. Most of the time it's an interview and you just fired question, but we can actually just have a conversation here.
I've been there.
Absolutely.
And just
I do the firing usually.
Yeah.
Luckily, you're not doing any. Hopefully, you're not doing any firing yet.
Unfortunately, I'm not Lord Sugar.
yeah. So it's
But,
not a favourite hat,
That's
but
Yeah.
actually really interesting because it is also like that whole thing of, you know, it's really interesting, especially that you said that sometimes when you come on stage, okay, eventually it will come, but it's not
Yeah.
always there.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments sort of like what happens, what goes through your mind? How do you come to that stage of allowing that sort of that type kind of personality to come to you? 'Cause,
I think it's just a realization that it is you.
yeah.
You know, I think whether it's music or whatever field of work or, you know, whatever role you take on,
Yeah.
I think there's always times when we feel like we're not up to it today, or we're not good enough, or
Yeah.
you know, you're just not feeling it, but you show up anyway, and you step into that role, because even though you feel like it's, you know, you haven't got that vibe today,
Yeah.
once you start, you know, you develop it, and it only comes from within. It doesn't come from anywhere
Absolutely.
else.
Ooh,
but sometimes we're not very good at tapping into that.
Mm.
So if there's
I
one
agree.
message I
I
want to,
totally agree.
yeah, if there's one message I would love to leave like today and give everyone, it's that, you know, like the greatness is within you.
How
I think that's so difficult
I think it
to
is.
kind of come to. Like, you might even
Yeah.
know that, but just to get there in your
Yeah,
head.
well,
Yeah.
this is it. This is what I want to
Yeah.
ask you. Like, how did you? Because you know, you are someone who's very confident, and you're someone in a good way, and very sort of. You know, it takes a lot for someone to believe in themselves to be like, you know what, I
Yeah.
can do this. I can
Yeah.
go on stage and, you know, okay, I'm not feeling it, but I'll still try my. Where has that come from? Like, where have you found that, you know what, I've got to build this up and I am good enough to be here? I do deserve these things. Because I think at times it's almost as though there's sort of some, like, almost like imposter syndrome where you're just like, well, am
Yeah.
I doing the right thing? Am I supposed to be here?
Yes.
So, like, what has that journey looked like in your confidence and you now being a position where you're like, yeah, I can do this? Where does that kind of come from? Or how was that journey for you?
I think confidence has come from doing, you know, a repetition.
Okay.
So doing the same thing over and over again, getting better at it, practice. But then a massive part of my confidence also come from support around me. So family support, support of friends. You know, I always say that my family have been such a huge driving force in my career, because not that they've been like pushing me to do it, but they've just been very supportive and encouraging. And especially my father, like he's, you know, he kind of really has held my hand through the whole thing, even to this day. And so that's really special, but it gives you confidence. Sometimes it gives you confidence knowing that your father's watching you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually extends beyond that, because in my head now, when I go and do shows or I perform, like, I've always thought, you never know who's in the audience. You never know who's listening to you or who's watching you. So I've just finished touring. I had this tour called Voice of Legends, which actually started out as a tribute to all the great Bollywood playback singers, Mohammed Rafi Saab, Kishore Kumarji, etc. And when I do those shows, I perform them as if the original singers are in front of me. They're in the audience. So then you're nervous, but you wouldn't step out there and sing if you weren't confident enough that you could deliver it, right? And so confidence isn't in a game, but it's made a lot easier when you have that support around you outside as well. That's what I feel.
I kind of get that, but then there's one extended question from what Shama's question was.
Okay.
So I did not mention that you have also performed at Buckingham Palace.
Yes.
Which again is another great achievement. And every
it
time
was St James's Palace.
Sorry, St James's
but
Palace.
it was the Royal
Part
Palace.
yeah. So I just wanted to ask you, I was just thinking of this when you were saying on the days that maybe you don't find the alter ego sort of Navin Kundra part of you.
Yeah.
If you have a day like that in your diary, where you're going to like Buckingham Palace, or you're doing like one of your concerts, sellout concerts, should I say? Sellout. There were sellout ones in this
absolutely.
tour.
What? Sold out? Come on.
What happens when you wake up that day and, like you said, sometimes it's just a bad day. Sometimes you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out there and perform. Maybe you just want to sit in front of the TV eating ice cream. I don't know.
The worst thing
What
is I
happens
wake up,
then?
I've got a cold or I've got a sore throat.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're the worst. They are the worst. And it's happened to me so many times, you know, because someone would have booked you for, it's a wedding. It's the most important day in this family's lives, in these two people's lives, and in the family. And like, you're not feeling 100%. But again, I think it's just battling through that and fight. Like, I think at the end of the day, when you keep that in your mind, if it's like, I'm just not feeling it today, and it's like, actually, why am I doing this? When you kind of go back to the purpose and the reason why you started in the first place, and what it actually means, not to you but to other people around you, you find the will, you find the energy, you do push through, unless it's something you just physically can't help.
You are obviously 20 years in the industry, and when you started, when you were an unknown to where you are now, is there something you wish you knew back then that you think would have really helped you along the way?
It's a really good question. There's loads of stuff I wish I knew. I would never have done it. No.
Oh no, I think I can vouch for the fact that you would not have said that.
No, I'm obviously, I'm joking. I mean, I think I've been really lucky to have good mentors and advisors around me. Like I said, my father has been amazing, although not in the music business, but just as a guiding force and a guiding light, in my life. Bandit Dinesh Ji, who I met when I was auditioning for Sarigama,
Oh, wow.
actually. And he's a nephew of Pandit Jasraj Ji, who's
Yeah.
India's biggest classical singer, and he's just also mentored me so well. So it wasn't just about singing, it was about the industry. We'd sit down and have conversations like this, what it's like, what to expect, what's going to happen when I go out there. And then my manager, Nairan, who is also super experienced in the business, very responsible for breaking Raghav into,
Oh, wow.
he
I've
looked
heard the
after
name,
Raghav.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, incredible. And, he's worked with everyone from Maxi Priest to,
Wow.
it's insane, actually.
Yeah, so you're right, and lots of
Billy
experience
Ocean, his
behind
whole-
that, yeah.
So I think having those experienced people around me, I was forewarned about all of the stuff that would happen.
Okay.
And then I think also, when you keep it real and you're not pretending to be someone you're not, it makes life a lot easier, because then you get to see people for who they are. Like, I've always said, if you want to judge someone, judge them by how they treat someone that can do nothing for them.
Yeah.
You
That's
know
such a
what?
good way
That
of thinking.
That is a really good one.
So how people talk to a waiter or someone who's serving them, someone they don't know, because so many times in my life I found when I'm talking to someone, you get a vibe and you get a feeling for them.
Yeah, you do.
And then when someone comes over and says, oh, this is Navin Kundra. And then it's a completely
No
different
way, it
thing.
changes.
It really does change. It really does change.
Oh, God.
Do you know what? That doesn't surprise
It doesn't
me.
surprise me in
Yeah.
the industry, but
Changes, yeah.
so I think this is the thing. This is why I was asking, because even though you say you've been given the pep talk kind of thing before you entered the industry,
Yeah.
you knew what to expect. We think, but you were so young.
Yeah.
I was young, yeah. So let's just rewind a little bit. This 20-year thing is
Sorry.
So
I feel like I put a
was,
mirror in front of you.
yeah. So 2004 is when I did Sarigama.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 2009, around 2008, 2009 when I released songs like Dedelier.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when my professional career kicked off.
Right, so there was a
at that point.
gap
Before then,
kind
I
of,
was
yeah.
and that gap was really me coming back from Dubai, having filmed the World Series, and saying, I think I want to do this as a career. Because the way I ended up being on Sarigama was just by chance that I was in Wembley at this Miller and they had auditions there. And I was
Yeah.
unprepared, had none of that stuff going. I didn't know about it, but Dad said, let's give it a go.
That's so
I just walked in and did it. So, and then when I came back from that experience, because obviously the judges are like Jagjit Singh Ji and Ghulam Ali Ji and Zakir Hussain Saab and OP and these are legends.
Yeah.
I'm standing next to Sean. I'm singing a song with
Oh
Sean.
my God.
So that was really special. But at that point, I hadn't necessarily made the decision to do this as a professional career. It was after that experience that I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Do you think, because you said you weren't prepared and you didn't even know, do you think that took the pressure of, oh my God, I've got to get this? Because I think that can sometimes, like, I know for me, if I really want something and I've got to do like an interview or something like that, I get so in my head about it. Whereas having that detachment, do you think that detachment was good for you? Like,
It
I mean,
was
it
amazing.
worked,
It was
but-
amazing for me actually at that
yeah.
time, because the judge for my episode was Ghulam Ali Ji, and I'm sorry I'm saying this on record. It's really bad, but at that time I genuinely did not really know much about him, who he
fine.
was,
That's right.
or his music. Had I have known, I probably wouldn't have been able to sing.
Right.
Yeah, because
Because
you
I
would have
would've
the
been so
nerves.
nervous.
Yeah,
Nervous,
the nerves
I'd
would
have
have
been
got to
so,
you.
when you ask me what those days like when you've got to go up and sing for the royal family, you're under a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
There's a lot
absolutely,
of nerves because you're
absolutely.
like, I can't mess this up.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally,
Yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah.
So I think the detachment. I mean, I always am in it to win it.
Yeah.
So it's not like I just do something for the sake of it. Like I always want to give my best, give 100%, and I think I'm just trained, and my mindset is such that I want to win.
Yeah.
So even at school, like when I was studying or whatever, like a super nerd, super geek, 11 A stars,
Oh
you
my
know, like
God.
student of the year kind of thing. Because I just don't see the point in doing something if you're not going to go
Yeah.
full on, if you're not going to commit to it 100%. Um, and so, yeah, that's been my mindset like throughout. And sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
So when you don't necessarily know this could go wrong or that could happen, or you're in front of this person and that person, then you relax a little bit. Whereas if you know there's some really super important person there right in front of you, you've got to perform that, and they're judging you every single, like that's actually now the character that I have in my mind at wherever I play, and I've just trained myself to do that so that now if I go out on stage, it's the performances of a level that even if there's someone like that, they would be okay with it.
Absolutely.
I think that's just being hard on yourself and having high standards, which has come over time. It wasn't always like that.
So I was going to ask this because just to bring in kind of the mental health aspect of being in this kind of career,
Yes.
you must have seen some lows, even
What
though
a great question.
everyone else
Yeah,
sees
absolutely.
highs, right?
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
it's
We
not
all
good
see
for your
the
mental
highs.
health.
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, this
But
is
it's
it. You
not
also
even
make
that.
it's also the fact that like you make it look. It
This is
looks
the
so
thing.
easy.
Yeah.
You know, like. And this is why I was saying, like, you've built this confidence, but that has to have come from.
Come on,
Yeah.
Shama.
You
It
know.
takes a lot of effort to
Yeah.
make something look effortless.
Absolutely.
Precisely, that's what I mean. Because this is what I mean. I think in this day of social media,
Yeah.
in this age of
Yeah.
social media, we see all the good things
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Absolutely.
pretty much everyone. Only like certain people have like certain posts where they've had a low period,
Yeah.
or they're
Yeah.
actually talking about something that has affected their mental health. Really.
Yes.
So how do you like? Because I've asked you about the days that, and you've said you've got a mindset that you just want to win. But have you had lows, and have there been times where you have had to really push hard?
Absolutely. Of course. I think when you're a driven person and you're goal driven, ambition driven, purpose driven, and you know that you're being judged on what you put out there, every record, every performance, that's a lot of pressure, which is not great for mental health. When people talk about mental health, like I didn't even know it was a thing until everyone started talking about it. I knew like I was under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure and I kind of put it on myself in a way because the standard, like I hold myself to a standard which is, and that's because of being around, the NSG and my father and, like people that want you to do well. They'll always push you to be the best you can be. I've always said that. That's who you want to surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
You don't want to surround yourself with people, oh, you sang fantastic, and you watch them on Pop Idol or whatever, and they're like, it's awful, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But their mum said, you're amazing, it's fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not real. So I do put myself under a lot of pressure, and the only way I have found to deal with that actually is it tends to come out in my music. It tends to come out in my performances. So my vent of that is actually in the act of what I'm doing.
That's so
And I don't
That
know
is really
I don't know if that's for everyone.
Mm.
I mean, lately I've been working out a lot. I've been training. There's a moment where, in the new tour, I take my top off.
Oh my God,
just
I've
have that,
seen the photo.
just have that
You know what?
Salman Khan moment, and it was just
to.
it was just a stupid thing that I said pre-COVID, where I teased the '90s edition
Yes.
of Voice of Legends, and I was singing Out Johnny John as a teaser,
Oh, standard.
and then so it was like,
It's that
take
song.
it off, take it. I was like, okay, yeah, all right.
You just get
next
hyped
time,
in the moment.
next time I'll do that. Yeah, the adrenaline's
Yeah.
pumping. Next time I'll do it, and then next time came, and all of a sudden I've got to do it.
You
right?
have to do
go.
it.
So, but I found fitness a great way of dealing with mental health. For me, mental health is very much connected to your physical health and your physiology. So, as I've become a bit more conscious of this, I now make certain conscious decisions in terms of the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you talk, the people you surround yourself with, where you go. And I found you can change your mental state just by changing your physical state. Something as simple as shoulders back, chest out. you're completely changed. Because when you're depressed and down and under
Yeah.
pressure, you're like this.
You literally
You're
are.
literally
like, that, yeah.
like you
It's,
know,
it's the
you're
your-
literally
it's
like
your-
this.
Your body
And the moment you
just
do
reacts.
that, all of a sudden, you know, just like the sound check,
Yeah.
open your arms,
Yeah.
I know,
and
what
all of
was
a
that
sudden,
about?
all of a sudden something comes out. Like it just changed it. So my belief, like to you know, one of the things that can really improve mental health, I feel, is improving and looking after your physical health. You know, I think that's really key and really important. I wish more people knew that. I wish that more people knew that if they dug deeper within themselves, they'd find the energy in everything within them to come out of whatever it is, or to deal with. It's not even to come out, it's just to deal with it, because everyone is going through stuff. You know, everyone has their struggles, like big or small. Like, who are we to judge that? You know, but everything you need is kind of inside you. And you can attract, when I say it's inside you, you attract the people that you need, you attract the circumstances that you want. It's never going to be perfect or ideal, right?
Life is
It
not
never
perfect,
is.
yeah.
It's not like that. And we all project an image, like you're saying, you know, yeah, I genuinely just post out the good stuff because I want to be a positive force and I want it to be that. But having said that, during lockdown, when I was doing a free weekly show for everyone, because I just felt it was my duty to serve my audience.
Yeah.
I broke down. I was in tears during one of the songs I was performing because I'd lost my grandfather during that time. It was quite emotional. And although I got a lot of support from the audience, I remember finishing that episode, turning off the webcam and just being really hard on myself. Like, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. I messed up. And my mum and dad were like, that was amazing. That was really beautiful. Actually, all the comment that made it
was
real.
the rawness. Yeah,
It made it
I
really
remember
real.
watching it. Yeah.
It's also like, it's that connection of, oh, hold on, you're human.
Yes.
Because you're on stage and you're performing for people
Yeah.
and you're doing this amazing, amazing thing. It was wonderful that during lockdown you gave people an avenue to get away from the reality of life.
Yeah.
But you also reminded them that you're also going through a reality of your own life, and it gives them that kind of sort of connection of, okay, we're all in this together and we can all try and be supportive of each other and stuff like that. And I think it's perspective as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. You know, I genuinely have always felt that I really believe. Have you seen Avatar? Have you seen the movie Avatar?
yes,
You see where they
ages ago, but
you see where they connect to Awa.
Yes,
they take they take their tails and they connect it to the roots.
Yes.
Like I really believe that. I really believe that we're all connected in some way, and especially with the planet. Like, especially with, you know, you walk barefoot and you see people hugging trees. I used to think that was crazy, and as I've got older, I was like, actually, this is really.
You want to hug a tree?
Yeah. I'm gonna go out there and do it now.
Let's go.
I know it sounds mad.
No,
Yeah,
but
it sounds
it's
mad.
true. It brings you back down to earth, so to speak.
It does.
as well.
It really does. It grounds you.
Yeah.
So whenever you feel you know, that was one of the things that I was told a long time ago. Like, you know, when you become popular, everyone's gonna come. They're gonna want to be around you. They're gonna tell you you're amazing, this, that, and the other. Like, the moment you're not popular or you're not having hits or success, those same people would have moved on to the next artist or the next person, or they're busy doing something else in their lives. Like some of my younger fans, they're married and they've got kids now, and they're leading different lives. But I think because the connection that you speak about, because it's a real connection, it's engagement. I'm not really about numbers. I'm more about the quality of the relationship they have with fans. Hence the VIP experience. You know,
Which
I
we are
really
now.
like
We are now
that. We are
VIPs.
you're now
just
going
to
to
let you know.
you're going to sign up.
Just to let you know.
NavinKundra.com.
I just-
the
Navin Kundra.
VIP
I just want to see that video.
Oh yeah.
Of Sarah
Just want- and then you can cancel your
I
subscription.
want to know about all the other things. I want to know about your demos. I want to know,
Yeah.
like, that is just, you know, like the
I say how I write a
process.
song.
Oh my God, I
How I
love
write
that.
a song.
I
Because
love that.
do you know what's so crazy, right? With socials, I always felt like that's what everyone wants to see on social
Yeah.
media. But I was like, I don't want to just. These are my secrets.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it out so readily and freely, because then it takes the magic away of what I'm doing. I mean, having said that, I love watching behind the scenes stuff of other
other
artists.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I value it. That's why I said, look, just for a small commitment, you know, like you can pay monthly or you pay annually, whatever. But this is special, and they get discounted. They get discounted rates at like coming to my concerts. They get discounts on tickets. They will
love
get
this.
to. They
do,
get
I really like this, yeah.
VIP meet and greets. Like
Yeah.
they, you know, up front. That's all done.
like-
And the best part is the kind of monthly video calls that we have.
That is incredible.
So it's like a Zoom of all that, and we just talk. I'm not, you know. Sometimes I'll pick up the guitar and sing a song to them.
So nice.
We have
That's so lovely.
it's the most fulfilling part of what I do. You know, other than serving charities,
But
it's
Yeah,
amazing.
I
Absolutely.
can imagine, because it's sort of just like, you know, you have just people who sort of listen to you and, you know, they know who you are and stuff like that. But then these are people who are actually committed to
Yes,
what you do and
absolutely.
all the work that you put in and everything that you're doing outside of your music and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, I love that.
It's lovely.
I love that.
It's a really nice thing to do. I was going to ask you actually because not so long ago, I interviewed Sonu Nigam, who started NFTs of his like whatever, like you know NFTs are like digital assets. So when you said
Yes.
that people get kind of, you know, like a bit of your this is how you write a song, or
Yeah.
maybe you've scribbled down some lyrics at some point. I don't know whether you do this in the middle of the night or something, but you know, you could sell that as a digital asset. Have you
Yeah.
ever thought of that? Because this is
Do you know,
it's
it's
a new
something I
world.
want to explore. I don't know enough about it to like.
It's-
Same like AI now has come, and I know it's going to turn a lot of things on their heads.
Yeah.
And it's something I just really want to get to grips with and
Yeah.
learn and explore. So NFTs, like I heard loads of stuff about it, and then it all kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing it now and
so-
then.
yeah.
In
Well,
the Bollywood
we should talk
kind
about
of
that because I do find it
arena.
interesting. Like, I genuinely feel that art has real value and deserves to be valued. And it annoys me that since I came into the industry, I came just when things were changing. People used to buy music, and then they started downloading it for free online, and then they started. iTunes came along, and all of a sudden a song was £1, and then Spotify came along, and all of a sudden a song is free.
free.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the value of that piece of art on the surface of it is really diminished.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. And I find that really painful and hard to deal with, because even these paintings on the wall, I look at them and I'm like, there's art and talent and value there.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just walk into a place and steal it and walk out and it's okay.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And where everything else has gone up in price, we talk about inflation, the value of music has gone down
Yeah.
or has been reduced
Yeah.
to, and how we listen to it as well. Like a lot, it's amazing. We spend thousands on making just one song. Like the whole process, the
Yeah.
production, the mixing, the mastering, everything. And at the end of the day, it's listened through your phone speakers, which are tinny. They're not designed for music or
No,
whatever.
it's true.
But
yeah.
that's probably where people will hear a song first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
we were just seeing, scrolling your social media, you just seeing, oh, there's a track that hit play. You're hearing it through that. So, if there's things I could change about it, it would be that. You know,
Yeah.
I really feel that it should be valued, and that's why I decided to really explore the live route, set up my own production company, concert production company, keep it all in house, and because you can't replace the live experience.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's true. Oh my god, whenever we've gone to live concerts, it's
Yeah.
like there's just something about someone being able to sing live and being like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could have heard that song a
is
million times before.
Like,
It's
Yeah.
so different
how
live.
how is that rag, or how is that like, how is your voice doing that?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So
It's
true.
absolutely
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
And it's just like,
And you can appreciate it then,
Yeah,
right? You get to appreciate it in person, yeah.
I have said this before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Me and Amrita talk about this all the time. All those people that have got those front row seats.
Oh, God.
Who these brilliant songs are being sung by whoever it is, and they're just sitting there.
This really
with
annoys
their
me
arms folded,
about
Yeah.
people in
just
concerts.
staring at you, and
Yeah.
it's just like, I'm sorry, I deserve that seat.
Yeah.
Okay, forget a seat. I'm not even sitting on my seat. I'm standing up and dancing and singing along,
Yeah.
and you've got the front row seat where the singer can see you. What is that about? Like, seriously?
You're so right.
That always happens the first
Oh,
two rows.
So
yeah.
right. You're so right. And do you know what? Like, now I produce my own concerts. I understand now why they're like, because they're people that don't buy those seats. They're either
That's what I was
sponsors,
thinking. They're like
they're either
sponsors or
sponsors or
something.
media or really important people.
Hello, we're
So-
media, but
We're
we like go
media.
all out in concerts.
So what I've done, what I did was I was like, I reserved like the front row, the front, maybe even the front two rows, like I put them on sale.
Okay.
So
like
I'm
that.
supposed to reserve them, but I put them on sale, and then behind that, there's probably however many, a couple of rows where you have invites, you have VIPs, you have media, you have people that have supported you and contribute to the show or whatever, and they can sit there because I wanted my VIP fans to be at the
Yeah,
front, or I wanted the
absolutely.
ones that really want to have that
Yeah.
experience be right at the front,
Yeah.
and it's nice because that's who we see front
Yeah.
first up.
that's what I mean. So
So
that's
you
what I
don't
was
wanna
going to
see
ask you as a
someone that's like
performer.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
As
We
a
always think,
performer-
like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
on.
I feel like as a performer, like we think about that, isn't
all the
it?
time. We have this conversation.
Because we're
all the
literally
time.
like, we were like in the third or fourth row. I can't remember who
Yeah.
it was, Sunidhi or someone like that
Yeah.
at O2 Arena.
Yeah, I think it was Cindy.
Oh no, Indigo. Oh my god! Like me and Shama, like proper like singing along.
Yeah.
And these like that whole. Oh my god!
Do you know what happened?
I was getting so
Was
frustrated.
it there? I can't remember what we went to watch, but basically, did we move at the front? We ended up moving at the front, and the cameraman kept on taking pictures of us because we were the
I don't
only
remember
ones
that.
that were singing along.
They
to
were enjoying the
everything.
show.
Yeah.
Proper. Like there were so many, like literally so many pictures of us, and everyone else was just like this.
Yeah, and it was just like
Wow.
you know, like sometimes you feel like they're filming totally different
Yeah.
performances.
Absolutely.
You guys have to come to
Do you
one of my
see-
shows.
oh, I really
Oh my
want to come
god,
to
we
one.
would.
By like literally, you'll come, you'll sit down, you'll start by sitting down, and by the end of it, everyone is on their
Stand
feet,
up, yeah.
and
Oh
they're
my
all
God. I love
dancing,
concerts like
partying
that.
because
Honestly.
because going back to what we were saying about the live performance and how I was saying everything's connected and we're all part. Like I almost feel like there's a universe and then there's us.
Mm.
And are we inside each other? Are we inside the universe, or is the universe inside us?
Oh, that's
That
okay.
it's a really weird way of thinking, and who are you supposed to ask? Is that right?
It's
Is
true.
that wrong?
No, it's
It's
true.
true.
But I genuinely feel everything is in there, and so with the shows, that's almost for me. They're designed around my audience.
Yeah.
They're not designed around what I want to showcase. They used to be. Like before, when I came into the industry, I was so excited to show people I can do this and I can do that and I can sing this and I can sing that to try and impress.
Yeah.
And now it's like, actually, let me show you the real you.
Yeah.
Let me show you how amazing you
But
are.
it needs to satisfy you as well, right?
Yeah.
That is the most satisfying thing.
Yeah.
When you've taken someone who walked in, I observe people all the time. I see the way they walk in. Some of them are super excited. You can tell they're excited. They're here. They're coming to the show. But like they sit down, they settle down. Once they've settled down, and then you can kind of almost see them. They droop. They drop. They go into their natural, comfortable state, which is what
Yeah.
they're normally in. By the end of it, everyone is full of life.
That's lovely.
And I always said I create these concerts to rejuvenate your soul.
I love that. I do. One thing I did want to touch on is you spoke about how supportive your dad was
Yeah.
and is, and
Yes.
like how sort of you didn't even know if you were going to audition, and he was just like, "Let's go, let's do it." And not especially when they want to go into the arts, not everyone has that experience.
True.
So, has your dad always been someone who's very much like, I will support you with whatever you do, or was this something that you kind of had to like prove to him for him to like? What was that like? What was that relationship in terms of you and music?
I feel he's always made me feel like I've had his unconditional support.
Okay, that's nice.
But when I think about it now, I think he's always wanted to make sure that whatever I do well. So his one piece of advice to me was definitely to get your education.
Yeah.
Go all out. So I did. I got my GCSEs, A levels, degree, all that stuff. Had a corporate role. So I went straight into banking, straight out of university. So I was banking. It's a really funny story. I don't know if we have time to tell that.
Yeah, go for
Go
it.
for it.
Shall I tell it?
Yeah,
Can
go
I tell you
for
the
it.
story?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me just answer the question, the point first.
Okay.
So the point is that, he made sure that I was applying myself 100%. And
Yeah.
if anything went wrong, because music is one of those industries where you never know, you're up 1 minute, down the next, there was something to fall back on. There was a solid education, solid ground to go and get a role anywhere, if need be. So it wasn't just blind support. It can't have just been unconditional
Yeah,
support.
absolutely.
It's the support of a father for his son who's seen he has a natural gift and talent for this. Let me do everything that I can to nurture it and to push it. And if he needs to be driven 200 miles to be taught for 2 hours, I'll make that journey. I'll take him. Or if he needs help with this song, writing, he's missing a lyric or whatever, I'll sit down and help him. Or if I need to go and find a promoter or a manager for him, or coach him through a talent show, I'll be there. And I think that's a parent's love.
Yeah.
I just feel really blessed that I'm my parents' son. I think that gift goes both ways.
Absolutely.
My whole family, like, just been supporting. My sister's like the hardest on me. Like, she didn't take anything. Like, if she should be like, she picks up on little things, which is amazing. And then my wife is obviously super supportive as well. So, but the story I was going to tell you
Go for it.
was about coming out of university.
Yeah.
And I had a passion for music, so I was making music at the same time. And then I got a job in HSBC. So I started releasing music around the same time. And what would happen is, in a management training role, they rotate you across every different segment of the bank.
Yeah.
And I think I had just put out Dirilie, which was...
Oh, you did that while you were a banker?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So
Wow.
we talk about identity.
Yeah.
We were saying, how do we manage that? In the bank, it was a running joke that I was a banker by day and a rocker by night.
I love
it.
that.
And it literally was that, because I was
God.
like, I want to build this into a career, but there's no application form you can fill in to become a singer.
Yeah.
Or become, so that just takes groundwork. And I was using MySpace at the time.
Oh, God.
Putting music on
Don't we know?
MySpace. Come on, man.
MySpace. For all those people who know what MySpace is.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd released the Lilia, I started to become popular, and then it was my turn in the branch. And what would happen was, fans would start turning up at the branch and like, Navin Kundra's there, like,
Oh
Navin
my
Kundra works at our
God.
local bank.
Can you imagine?
It was so bizarre, and I'm like feeling
Oh
embarrassed.
my God.
And my managers are like, "What's going on? You're supposed to be seeing customers. Who are these like young girls that are coming in?" And it got so bad that
Oh
it
my
got
God,
so
that's-
bad before the bank. So we're in at 8:30. Bank opens at 9.
Yeah.
Sat there. There would be like a bunch of people waiting to come in just to see me.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And I was like, this is not good, because it can't be a good look that your favourite pop stars work in your local bank. That's not good. And then secondly, it's a bit embarrassing that they're thinking, is he actually applying himself here, or has he got something
Yeah,
else
yeah,
he's
like-
doing?
yeah.
Something else you're actually
So
concentrating
then,
on.
but I finished so then they moved me into a back office role. So and then
rid
I
of
got
the fan.
promoted to head office in Canary Wharf. That was my first appointment, like
Okay.
commercial banking.
Cool.
And I remember I did a show, and I looked at the paycheck. I looked at my pay slip when I received it from HR. I was like, I made my whole month's salary in 1 hour of singing. I need to be doing that.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be doing, because it feeds my soul. It satisfies me. I love it. I'm super passionate about it. It doesn't matter how tired I am. I'll always get up and, figure out, get it done.
Absolutely.
Whereas banking, getting up early in the morning, and that's a big reason. I just didn't want to get up early in the morning.
But it's also...
I just wanted to get up when I wanted to,
But it's also, now if you forget,
Love
you're
it.
actually good enough for that to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, so when you get little wins like that, like
Yeah.
Diddley is playing on radio now, I'm being
Yeah.
booked all over the place, like, but I couldn't just quit my job, because that was one booking, and then what am I supposed to do for the rest of the
Yeah,
all that time?
Absolutely.
So it took about 3-4 years for me to get that consistent. And I remember the pivotal point was when I was booked to do a big festival in Canada. It's called Desi Fest out in Canada. And I finished in the office on Friday, went to the airport, caught the flight, went Saturday, did the show. Sunday did all the post interviews, took a Sunday evening flight, landed Monday morning, got changed
Went to work.
got changed at Heathrow Airport in the
Oh
toilets,
Oh my God.
and went straight into the office.
Oh my God.
And I was
that
like, okay,
sounds-
I can't do this
Yeah.
anymore.
That sounds
It's
mental.
literally moonlighting.
Yeah, I can't do this
Yeah.
anymore. So then there's a round of redundancies that were announced at that time. I wasn't. This is so crazy. I wasn't made redundant in that thing.
Okay.
My manager at the time, he was made redundant,
Right.
but he just had a baby. As a couple that
Yeah.
he was married. They just had a baby. He really needed a job.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you've ever faced redundancy and employment and stuff, it's horrible because you get called into a room and they tell you your fate. Like, you're either in or you're not.
Yeah.
And whilst I was kept on, I walked out and I saw a manager and I was like, he asked me, how did you do? And I said, yeah, I'm good. And I looked at him, I said, how did you do? He said, no, I'm gone. I was like, oh my God. And I just felt at that moment, that was probably, it's one of those defining moments where you just changed your life in this moment with this decision. I walked back into the office and I said, look, this guy really needs this job. He's got a young family, I've got something else that I'm working on and I'm doing. So if it's possible, could you please keep him on and I'll leave. And that's what happened.
Wow.
And that literally changed
God.
everything.
But that would have changed his life as well.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like there was a door for you and there was a door for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
it
like
just swapped. So I'm going to ask you something really random. I'm just going to go back to the family thing.
Go for it.
Once again, because
Yeah.
he's given us such a great story.
I've never told this. I don't think I've ever told this story.
I think it's
properly.
fantastic.
think
It just
it's
shows
such
the
an
metal of
amazing-
your character as well.
Called Voice It Out, and I'm
Yes.
literally just talking.
Well, this
just
is
the aura of
I'm
the
such
room.
a chatterbox. It's
this is what it
ridiculous.
is. I mean, this is where you get to do it. So
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I just wanted to ask you, because as Shyama alluded to earlier, obviously in Asian households especially, the arts are not favoured, or at that
True.
time they definitely weren't favoured. Now
Yeah.
you can still understand it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask, even though you've mentioned that, your family have always been very supportive,
Yeah.
and you've also said that you have a lot of expectations of yourself. Do you think that some of that is other people's expectations of you that you think,
They
as
get
in
projected,
to
yeah.
be in an Asian household, I
Yeah.
feel like everyone has expectations of each other,
Absolutely.
and it's just a natural cultural
that's just
thing.
part of being
Yeah.
Asian,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just-
Absolutely.
that comes
Exactly.
but you're absolutely right. I know my mum. She would have loved for me to become a doctor. So,
Don't they all?
They will, of course.
but it's really cute because I was on BBC Doctors and I won an award. So I said, Mum.
I love this.
And
Is the
she
closest
loves
I'm
it
gonna
now.
get.
Like, she loves it now because she's the first one. Like, she's super proud. So when she meets people, like she's like my PR machine basically.
Do you know
She'll
what?
meet
That's
people and
sweet.
tell them
I
all
love
about
it.
what I
I
do,
love
what's
it.
going, which I think that's just a result of a lot of hard work and making progress. If I wasn't making progress, or moving backwards, or not making a living, because I don't have a day job now.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Music. Like, I meet so many people and they're like, "Oh, so what do you do?" Like, I was like, "This is what I do.
This is
like,
it.
like, music is
Yeah.
what I do." Because there's a lot of artists out there that hold down 2 or 3 jobs whilst singing, and that was me a few years ago. But I just made when I said you're all in or not, like,
Yeah.
I'm in it to win it. Like, you have to commit 100%. So I feel like, I knew that there were these expectations, but I fulfilled them with my education. I went straight into banking, so I got a job. It was a solid job.
Yeah.
You ticked the box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like those boxes were ticked, but at the same time, I would also love to speak to the families and the parents and the elders, and say, please support your children's passions, and please recognize them, understand them, give them a chance, because it's not your life, it's theirs.
Yeah, exactly. YOLO and all
I
that.
think it's also a matter of like for especially for Asian parents, I feel like it's because the arts is the unknown.
Yeah.
Like it's that fear of, oh my God, but what if it doesn't happen?
Yeah.
We need you to be safe.
I think that's
so
what it
you've
is
got-
with the banking, for
You're
example.
right.
It's the fallback position,
fallback,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like
But-
we need you to be safe, so you're going to be all right. So you're not going to end up on the streets, and it's like, well,
Yes.
it's not going to
Yeah.
be that.
Yeah.
But they're absolutely right, though. From their perspective,
Yeah,
they're absolutely right,
absolutely.
because they're looking out for their child.
Yeah.
They want them to have the best life possible.
Absolutely.
And I've seen it. You know, I know people. They are doctors or they're accountants. They have great lives.
Yeah.
They're settled. There's no issues with anything. You know, like they're working hard. They've got the stresses of everything else that comes with
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
But it's solid. It's steady. It's respected.
Yeah.
You know, and they have a great life. And you know, sometimes it could be difficult when you look around you and you're trying to make it in the arts, or you have a passion for fashion,
Yeah.
or you're in an unconventional career, and you look around you and everyone else is doing the conventional careers and doing really well. How is that? How are your parents supposed to feel
Yeah.
in that?
Yeah,
So, like, they're
it's
looking
true.
around saying, well, hang on a second, they're doing that because they're doing what I told you to do, and you're still here doing this. Like, it's, and the thing is with art, with creative arts and creative industries, there's no set time or blueprint for when things can blow.
Exactly.
It's true. It's
Like,
so
things
true.
can blow overnight very quickly. Things can take 20, 25, 30
Yeah.
years. Things can blow after you've passed away.
Yeah, it's true.
There's so many examples of music, you know, artists that became famous after they
After they
left.
After they left,
So there's no guarantee. And I think parents just want to guarantee that their children are safe and happy and secure and
Yep.
well and living the best life. Because they didn't come here, they didn't struggle all their lives for their kids to struggle.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
So
think
true.
that's what it is.
As long
So
as
true.
they see progress and you breaking down boundaries and you're doing good,
Yeah.
which is why the charity piece is so important to me as well, then it's all good. It just takes a bit of time, you know, and I think I've seen now more parents are a lot more open to their children having career. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch now, the social media, the influencer
Absolutely.
bracket,
This is what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
the
It's different
podcaster
now.
bracket
Yeah.
that you're doing,
Yeah,
you know, like all of that
absolutely.
stuff. And they're open to it because they're like, well, okay, this is a new wave.
Yeah.
And they
and they
see
s-
more of it.
You
Because
see
they're
more of
able
it,
to
and
see more
some
of it.
people are doing it really successfully.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Success of it.
So yeah, I mean, nothing succeeds like success in that way, you know.
Absolutely.
But you're never going to always be successful at
Yeah.
anything. It doesn't matter what, you're always going to struggle
Yeah.
at some points. So if you've got your family support there, it's nice because you can always go to them.
Yep.
If you haven't, then you need a good circle of friends and a good team around you. And if you don't have that, you always have yourself.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, the universe is inside us. There's no shortage of anything within you. You just have to know how to tap into that. And I believe a lot of that is through your physiological state.
Love it. Wise words from Navin Kundra, guys.
Absolutely.
Love it.
That was deep.
It's deep.
Is this the alter ego?
Are you on stage now?
No, I've
No,
never
I
said
love
any of this
this.
stuff.
I
Like,
love
it's
I had to
so
ask.
Do you know
I
bizarre.
had
what?
to
I'm
ask.
so.
So bizarre,
Do you know
yeah.
what? It does actually make me really happy that you say you've never said this stuff before.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
so
true.
That's
because
nice.
it's so true, and I think a lot of people needed to hear that.
Yeah, I think
Like,
so. If it's
think a
from
lot of
someone who's
people-
like an experienced musician,
So
singer.
on behalf of all of those
definitely.
listening, thank you so much.
Yes,
for
thank you for
saying
sharing.
That, for
Thank
sharing
you.
that.
We're going to move to the last
The
segment.
last segment,
Which
of
is?
our...
The this or that section.
This
Oh,
or that
okay. Is this
section.
some quick fire?
These are
Yeah,
some quick
this or
fire.
that.
They might
Okay.
be related to your job. They might be
All
completely
right. Okay.
different.
All right. Let's
but,
do
you
it.
know.
Let's do it.
Please, can I just give a disclaimer here?
Sure.
To anyone on the screen, if I suddenly go like that, it's because I wrote on the wrong side of the card.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to let you know, I haven't gone mad.
No.
Okay, do you want to start?
Yes, okay, I will.
Go on then.
All right.
Come on, let's do it.
Performing at a Mela
Yeah.
or performing at a concert?
At a concert.
Excellent. I love it. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
Did you think it'd be? Did you think it'd be Miller?
I
don't
thought-
know, I don't know.
I had a feeling it would be Mela because
What
it's
do you
a
prefer
different.
to attend?
It's
a
a
Miller or a
different.
concert?
I like both.
I like both.
Yeah. We
like
like
both.
both. This is this or
But
that.
I feel like at a concert you've got your seat, whereas at a Mela
Yeah.
I'm short and I can't usually see.
Actually saying that, yeah, I think I prefer a concert because
Yeah.
I know what I'm
Yeah.
getting.
Because you
as
know
well.
you're sitting
Yeah.
and
You know,
well,
and then
you're
at a
not
Mela,
always
I'm
sitting,
normally
but
the person right at the back being like, "Oh, look,
Yeah.
the performing artist
see
is
the
tiny."
and you can see the screen.
So yeah, concert for me. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Good.
I agree. Okay, viral music or sellout tour?
Sellout tour.
Mm.
Sellout tour because it just has value and longevity, and yeah, I like to sell out my tours.
Love.
That's
Which
what I'm always.
obviously he's got
Has-
experience
I mean,
in.
hello.
That's what I'm. That's what I work towards. That's my measure of actually, you know, how engaged my fans are and how well it's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that someone's buying a £55 ticket they actually
Yeah.
They really
they
want to see
value.
you.
They really wanna see it.
yeah.
They're
They're
doing
not
it.
streaming a song for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
true. It's
like
true.
they've actually
So true.
they've done that and they've made a commitment. So yeah.
And they're the ones that are going to be dancing.
If not if they're in the front. Right. Sorry.
Hey, no. His fans will.
Okay, maybe at Navin's.
His fans will.
Maybe other.
You guys
every
have to
other
come.
concert.
We
You
do
have to come
come.
next year. I'm doing a massive tour. Next year.
Are you going to come to Croydon or Luton?
I probably will actually.
Don't come to
We
it.
might come twice then.
We can't go. I come twice.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can
know
come.
any-
Do you know what? I only did 3 dates this year, like my own concert.
Yeah.
And some people came to all 3.
Oh,
God.
Some of my
that's
most devoted
nice.
fans, they bought tickets to all 3, and I was like, wow.
That's
So
nice.
come. I think once it sounds really arrogant and cocky.
No.
And I don't mean for it to
Confidence.
be, but I do. What I have noticed is that once people have seen it once,
Do you wanna
they
see it
do
again?
come back and see the next
Yeah.
one and the next one.
Yeah.
Like I asked a question. It's like, how many of you guys have been to Voice Legends for the first time, and have been before?
Yeah.
And there's a massive cheer. So I think we need it, man. We need a night out. We
Yeah.
need to.
Okay.
And it's not just
Right.
to see me, hear me sing. It's
No, I want
actually
to see
because the
that.
memories attached to the songs and
I
what
think
it
I
reminds you where it takes
disagree.
you.
I disagree because as you were saying that, I was thinking about it is to do with you.
Yeah, it's true.
Because
yeah.
it's what you're offering. Even if it is familiarity in the music,
Well,
it's how
Well, I
you
take my top
present
off,
it.
so yeah.
That's
Probably
not
why.
what I meant, guys.
God. For all of you who want to see Nav with his top off.
I mean, he only
Right.
does concerts for that reason.
This or that.
Exactly.
This or that.
Okay, sorry. This is completely different. Home cooked meal
Uh-huh.
or fancy dinner out?
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Because I love both.
Okay.
I love both. My wife is always saying to me, like you love to eat out far too much. So I love home cooked meals as well. Like
Okay.
my mum is the best cook ever. She makes amazing food. I don't know which one to. I think home cooked food.
Home cooked food?
I have to go home
Alright.
cooked food. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Cool.
What about you?
Audience. Oh,
Oh, God.
I think I'd probably choose going out.
I'd choose going out. For the moment, I'd choose going out.
I think it's because of the variety.
Variety, and also there are things that I can have out that I
That's
can't have at home.
amazing.
This is true.
I see. Like what?
Oh, like...
Tell me like what?
well,
Like
I can't have-
McDonald's.
okay, I can't have eggs at home.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
No, can't have meat
Okay.
and stuff like that, and I eat stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's always been a thing, even before I got married.
Okay.
So yeah,
Do your
eating out
family
is-
know this?
Oh yeah, they all know it.
Oh, that's fine.
absolutely.
Because
It's-
your
yeah.
cover is almost
It's not a
blown.
secret.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, it's not a secret at all.
Okay, fine.
I love
Every-
it. I love it if
everybody
your
knows.
cover was blown.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, by the way.
That's so funny.
No, they all know.
Okay. Big gestures or small things?
Depends.
Oh, okay.
Depends on.
If you're making, if
It
you're the
depends
one
on the
making,
occasion.
okay.
Um,
If you're the one making it, if you're the one doing, what would you rather do? Big gesture or do a small thing for someone?
so I love doing small things, but sometimes they just go a little unnoticed.
Okay.
So I think big gestures, like you really take notice of them, and they take a lot of effort to plan and stuff. I appreciate when people do small things for me, a lot. But I feel like I've done a lot of small things for people, and often it's kind of gone unnoticed or unappreciated. And I didn't mind that actually,
Yeah.
because I didn't necessarily do it for that. But that's why I prefer big gestures, because you just get such a different
Yeah,
reaction. You
you
get a
do,
big
you
reaction.
do.
It makes you feel like damn good. You know, it takes
get that.
yeah,
I do
yeah,
get that. I
it
do
takes a lot,
understand
yeah.
Okay, last one. Last one?
Your last one.
My last one.
And then I got one more.
Oh yeah, you got.
Amrita, what about you?
I think I would prefer the small things.
Small things?
Because I feel like I notice everything. It's not a good
You
thing.
do. You do.
Exactly,
Notice
it's so
everything.
not a
She
good
does
thing.
notice everything. It can be a good thing. When someone's giving you a nice small gesture.
No, but when I'm making it, it's a bit like you. I
Yeah.
don't like it getting ignored.
Yeah.
It's frustrating when you've made the effort.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That is
It's like,
true.
did you not notice this?
I
Hello?
did this for you.
Exactly. It's not just there,
Right.
just randomly.
My conclusion is size matters.
Size. I love it.
I mean, I think that ended that argument right there.
Okay. Netflix or Prime?
Netflix for me.
Netflix.
Yeah.
I think I'd choose Netflix just for the interface. Prime
Yes.
is
Prime-
so
yes,
confusing.
Yeah,
yeah,
Prime is just
Netflix
really
over.
clunky and difficult. I think there's a bit more variety on Prime.
Yeah,
And I know
but
they're
you can't bother
signing
to
up
look
a lot
for
more
it.
It's hard to
stuff.
find. Like
Exactly.
Prime, there'll be I'll see a recommendation for Prime, and I'll be like, oh, I'll see if that comes up later. It just disappears.
It just disappears. You
And
have to
I'm like,
search for it.
But if anyone from Amazon Prime is listening to this and they want to take our podcast or
Absolutely.
take our documentary,
And
our work, on that platform, we are open to
Absolutely.
that.
Just please, can you improve the interface before that?
Interface. Come for us for all your interface ideas, and then we can think about it.
Because yes, we are experts, obviously. Okay, final one. Audience love or inner satisfaction?
I would choose inner satisfaction because that for me comes from audience love. It's made up of audience love. It's made up of seeing the people that I love around me happy, and it's made up of me feeling like I'm making progress and making a positive difference. So audience love is, it's just intrinsic to my inner satisfaction. So that's what, yeah.
That's a good answer.
I like that answer. Yeah,
I like that.
I mean, I've liked everything you've said.
It's true.
Oh.
It's been wonderful.
I feel like
so
I could
sweet.
listen to you all day.
I
so
could
cute.
honestly. You've got like so much. Jan.
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 Why is
I
that?
love that word.
Just
Why not?
yeah, but this has
I
been really
love that.
good fun actually.
Oh,
Actually
thank you.
just sitting here chatting to you guys.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the two of you as well.
Oh,
Which is
thank
really,
you.
really, really,
Thank
really-
you.
We come as a duo.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. A lot of people know this.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. It's
But
very
guys,
true. But I just want to say thank you
yes,
because
thank you so much.
we were talking about after what Nav said, but
Yes.
talking about big gestures or small
Yes.
things, and you've made a really big gesture to come on this podcast.
Absolutely.
From all the way. I'm not going to say how many miles, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
And it really does mean a lot to us. So
It
thank
does.
you
It
so
absolutely
much.
does.
We really
We
appreciate it.
appreciate it so much, honestly.
That means a lot. I'm glad you appreciate it, and I'm grateful that you called me and invited me here because, particularly yourself, Amrita, in your previous role, you've always been so supportive. You've always been someone that I wish there was more people like you
Yes.
around
sweet.
I
because you've always
agree.
been so supportive.
I agree.
And so when you're stepping out and doing your own thing, I'm obviously going to be here and support you all
that's
the
so
way.
nice.
I know,
So
you
that's
said this
gonna
to me on the
happen.
phone, and I was just like,
But
oh my
he's
God.
being
Like,
honest.
True.
and
Yeah,
it's
I'm
true.
just telling you as it
I
is.
know, that's really
So-
sweet.
No,
I'm gonna
it's
give
very,
you a
very
heart.
sweet.
Thank you for the
Love you
heart.
very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
the
much.
heart.
Yes.
And there's something I didn't say.
Yes.
Is that you have a new single out.
I have
You
a
do.
new
You've got
single
your
out.
single out.
And
Okay, so
it's-
this
yeah.
podcast is going to go out in a few weeks.
That's
so
fine, that's
hopefully
fine.
that single would have done its magic and be doing its magic
yeah,
by then.
well. So yeah, I think. I mean, we'll still be promoting it then. Because we've got
amazing.
the music video to come out and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
it'll probably come out as this comes out.
Okay.
I'm doing a slow burn on this
Oh,
track.
amazing.
Okay.
So yeah, I do have a new single,
Wonderful.
It's called
Neirukna, which means
Don't,
Stop.
Stop.
don't stop. And I think
Yes.
we've spoken a lot today about dreams, following your dreams, following your passion.
Absolutely.
If you need a song to go with that, that is the
Oh,
song.
amazing.
Neirukna. Please check it out. It's got a real powerful message. It's what I've used to train to over the last 3-4 months. It's what it's what I now use when I feel. Sometimes you feel down and you lose a bit of hope, or you go through that time. Like, am I good enough? When you spoke about imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have a listen to this song and it'll give you everything
Oh,
you need.
amazing.
I love it.
yeah.
It just goes with
Sounds so
it
good.
just goes with this episode. And
It
everything.
absolutely does.
does.
Don't stop.
Oh, don't
It does.
stop.
Be unstoppable.
Be unstoppable.
And so we are unstoppable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we need to believe it.
Yes,
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
main thing, isn't it?
absolutely. Belief is
Absolutely.
so important. yeah.
Absolutely. So we just want to say, well, we want to ask you to just reveal, where do people find you on social media? What are you
Yep.
on?
So
What are
I'm
your
at
handles?
Navin Kundra everywhere, pretty
Everywhere.
much. So
Pretty much
Instagram,
everywhere.
Facebook,
Amazing.
Twitter, TikTok, all of those.
So,
and my
yes,
official
go follow.
website is navinkundra.com. If you're interested in becoming a VIP, there's a section there. So just click on that. I would love to extend my VIP family. It really is something special. It's a wonderful place where, we get to take a relationship that starts with music, and we take it to something so much deeper and so much more beautiful. So yeah, I look forward to connecting with all of you.
Sounds
Oh,
great.
guys, go check it out.
Go check
Sign
him
up.
out and follow him if you're not already, but I hope you are.
I hope you are already. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
And guys,
Thank
thank
you.
you all so much for listening and watching. And remember, we don't want to keep it in. We want to
voice it out.
Oh my God, I love it.